Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Saturday. Hope all is well. So, I just want to start off. Last night, I did my very first book club of talking about Virginia Roberts Dufay, of her telling her story, her memoir about her surviving her sex trafficking with Epstein, among other people as well. Just put this on mute, you guys, because I don't want to get distracted. I can get easily distracted. Anyhow, so yeah, um, and I have to say, I did a horrible job, in my opinion. I feel like I bombed it. I feel like I could have done better doing a book club because, the words were just so blurry to me, and I may have to get my eyes checked. I may have to get reading glasses because I just felt like I couldn't see the words properly, even though there was lights. But I just feel like I didn't do a good job to you guys and didn't do justice. So I do apologize. And working 5 days a week, you know, in front of the computer, during the day and afternoon, your eyes can just, be glancy, if that's even a word. And and then coming up here, doing a video and reading things, my eyes starts to, glance and not see things, just look very blurry. So I may have to get reading glasses, which is not the end of the world. I just probably would just see better, but it seemed like I might need reading glasses. So I really definitely have to go get my eyes checked. But I just want to apologize last night. I just feel like it was not my best book club. With that being said, it was my first book club I ever done, and hopefully I will do another one if you guys will welcome me back to do another book club of the book of Nobody's Girl by Virginia Dufay, and I will do a better job. And hopefully by then I get reading glasses. So I just want to apologize to you to that. Um, I know that I could have done better. I could have done better, but anyway, I just wanted to say that last night was not my best. It was not the greatest, and hopefully the next time around when I do another book club, that it will be great. Now, I want to talk about this neural gum that I've been hearing people have been talking about. I know it's been out there probably for the longest. And this is what I purchased on Amazon, neural gum. And listen, I don't know if it works, to be honest with you. I've been getting great reviews and a lot of people have been talking about it. And I remember these two gentlemen that are co-founders and that actually created this. They were actually on Shark Tank, and they didn't get the deal, obviously, but now they're like a millionaire, billionaire company, I believe, but don't quote me on that. And they're doing really great. My thing is, a lot of people say it works, and I tried it last night and today as well, and it helps with your energy and helps you focus. And we're going to see if it really works. It doesn't say how like, does it take a week for it to kick in an effect, or a month? It doesn't specify, to be honest with you. So I'm just very curious if this gum really works. A lot of people say it does. It really stimulates your energy, your focus. I purchased the cinnamon one because I like cinnamon opposed to peppermint. But it balanced energy. It gives you more boosts of focusing. It has like caffeine boost. It has carotene balance. It has vitamin B6 for the brain, vitamin B12 for the body, and zero sugar, gluten-free, vegan. So it seemed like it is legit. And me, I'm very skeptical about things, but I don't mind trying things new to see if it works. It's 6 packs, 9 pieces of tablets, in total 54 pieces. It's dietary supplement. So we're going to see. As a child, I think I told this before. I was a very hyper kid. I could not stay still. I was all over the place. I was very jumpy. I was everywhere. Anyone can tell you I was like a Spider-Man, but a female version. And I couldn't stay still. And obviously, on top of that, I couldn't even focus either. Middle school, elementary school, high school, I was a little bit better, to be honest with you, but I was in a special program class since I was like elementary through high school. But when I was younger, they told my parents, especially my mom, that your child can't stay still. She's very hyper and she's all over the place. Maybe you need to medicate her because she's just all over the place and she's bouncing up and down and just not staying still. And my mom said, absolutely not. I'm not going to give my daughter Adderall or any other type of substance because that's what a child do does. Excuse me. They get hyper. They don't sit. They run around and move. That's what kids do. And I'm glad. And I love telling this story. I'm glad that my mom advocated for me because obviously I couldn't. I was just being a kid, just doing what kids normally do, just acting up and being all over the place and just being a kid. But I'm so happy and grateful that my mother advocated for me and told the teacher, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And, I grew out of it, obviously. I'm not all over the place, but I can say this now as an adult, I'm hyper focused. I'm like, OCD. I like things a certain way. I'm very particular in certain things. I like things done right. I like things in order. I like organization because I feel like for me, when I'm organized, I get to focus more and tend to like I know what things are. Opposed to when things are all over the place, it just drives me crazy. It just gives me anxiety. It stresses me out. Like I don't even leave one utensil in the sink. If I see that, it freaks me out. I like things put away, things organized. It drives my husband really crazy because he's a total opposite of me. He likes to leave things around for like 2 or 3 days, even a month. But don't tell him that I told you that because he probably would get upset. But he's just totally opposite for me because he can leave things all over the place and be messy and he can find things half the time. Opposed to me, totally different. I when I have things organized or if I can't find something, I find it very quickly opposed to like 3 or 4 days. But anyway, we're gonna try to see if this newer gum really works, if it really boosts my energy and helps me focus. There's times I get, slight out of focus when I do certain things, but most of the time I'm very focused on what I do, but I do get sidetracked, especially when I'm reading a book. I do get sidetracked a little bit. So hopefully this newer gum really works. Sorry, really works. And we're just going to see how it goes. So a lot of people recommend it. People are buying it on Amazon, TikTok shop, wherever you can find to purchase it. But I will let you know if it really works on me. We're going to see. But anyway, before I get to my next topic about ICE agents, something happened to me at work this week. One of my coworker, she had an incident. She didn't come in on Monday because she was very sick. Okay, things happen. People get sick. And you don't want to come to the workplace and spread your germs to everyone because no one doesn't want to get sick. I'm miserable when I'm sick, by the way. And fine. Then Tuesday she showed up. Wednesday she showed up to work. And then there was an incident that happened that she is where she's staying. I guess the maintenance came to where she was staying. It's one of those hotels extended place that you stay for a long period of time and then you just pay every weekly. So apparently when the maintenance came into the room, the dog got out. So basically the dog was in a crate. So I guess they told her and she left immediately because they couldn't find the dog because the dog actually just, once the maintenance opened the door because her husband was at work, that the dog just bolted out. And they called her, she freaked out, she left. Now, I thought once, she got everything under control that she will come back. But apparently she didn't come back the whole day. Now, I don't know what transparent, if she texted my team leader that she's not coming back or she didn't text her at all. I don't know the whole circumstance because I'm the type of person I keep to myself. I'm on my business. They have nothing to do with me. I'm not going to get involved. That's just how I am. I don't get involved in people's drama or business. Then come Thursday, she came in, but something was off. You know what I mean? She came in, I said, good morning. She had like a little bit of attitude. And I'm like, what is going on? So apparently, I don't know. Again, I wasn't there. But what I can suspect was someone told her that something's going to go down when she comes into the office on Thursday. And I guess that was really upsetting to her. So apparently, she didn't clock in yet, but she didn't log into her computer. So apparently she was told that she was going to get written up because it's not the first incident that happened to her. And she said, well, she's not going to sign the written up because she felt that if she signed that written up form, that the next time there's an incident or whatever, she's fired automatically because there's stipulate rules that if you call out or you leave or amount of certain times that it's a termination from the job. So she refused to sign it. And she told my team leader, well, I'm not signing it. Talk to Lucy, figure out what's going to happen if I don't sign it. So then she was waiting, and she was supposed to relieve me from another workstation because as soon as she arrives, then I can go back to my workstation and do my job. So it was all in limbo. I didn't know what was going on. And then my team leader, she seemed like she was all over the place. She didn't know what the hell she was doing, or she was just trying to figure out what's the next move because my coworker told her, I'm not signing it. I'm not signing a written up form. So the door was shut. The team leader was trying to figure it out, calling another person to see what I'm going to do. What can I do? And that's what I'm just speculating here. And then my team leader opened her office door, then called the nurse, the head nurse, and the head nurse came in with my coworker, with the team leader, went in the office, shut the door. So long story short, you guys, she didn't sign it, and she resigned, and she left. And she's a young woman, married, and have a son. I believe she's a millennial or a Gen Z. I'm not really sure because I don't know how old she is, but she was very young. The point of the matter is, okay, and again, this is not me judging her, but it's just a decision that she made that she was really stupid and dumb doing that. You resigned because you didn't want to sign a written form. And I just feel like she was just with her feelings and she was not being smart or strategic about what to do next. Now, if they told you, which they did, that this is your last written up, if there's another incident that occur, that you will be let go. My mind would be, okay, so I'm going to try my best not to leave early, but at the same time, there's emergencies happens, you know what I mean? That's out of your control, and there's nothing that you can do about it when it comes to emergency, especially when it comes to your child, your dog, or your husband. Things happen. With that being said, it seemed like outside looking at it, it seemed like it's always happening. It's always an occurrence with her. And I can say it's probably bad luck. I can say, she has a dark cloud overhead. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like when it rains, it pours with her. And it's not her fault. Shit happens. I'm sorry to say, shit happens. But anyway, so my thing is, she was not very smart about it. One, you have a child. Two, you have bills. Like, stop thinking within your feelings. She should have signed it, okay? And then make her next plan, looking for another job. Just have it. She should have had it in the back of her mind. Okay, if another incident happened, then I'm going to be let go. So until then, I'm going to be in my best P's and Q's, and I'm going to do my best coming into work on time. Well, she was coming to work on time, but hopefully there won't be any more incidents that I have to leave the office and not coming back. Because when she leaves the office, then all of us have to chip in and cover the front, which we all have done in the past, and we are going to continue doing it until they hire another person. Nevertheless, my thing is she was just very dumb and not very smart how to handle the situation again, because she was just thinking about her feelings, and she was just like saying, well, I'm not going to sign this and that's it, then I'm going to resign and leave. But at the end of the day, it's not hurting the company, because the company, it's just going to continue. Business is still going to continue to run. You're the idiot, and I'm sorry to call her that, but she is an idiot. You're the idiot that resigned and left, knowing that you have a child, knowing that you have bills and responsibility, and then you're only now going to base on one income, your husband. Make it make sense. Like, sometimes people need to be smart. And I'm not the only one has been saying that. Other people in the workplace have been saying that too, that she was not very smart. She was very stupid and dumb by resigning and leaving. I'm sorry. People were saying that, and I agree. And I know she's not here to defend herself, but if she was there, and if I do eventually see her in person, because she has my number, I'm definitely going to tell her this when I'm telling you guys face to face. I feel like you were very dumb, by resigning. Like, why would you do that? Because you're with your feelings, because you were just like upset about the whole situation. At the end of the day, people have a job to do. There's a business people are running. You know what I mean? it's sad to say people don't give a shit about your problems. I hate to say that, but that's just the reality. When it comes to, medical field, corporate, you have some people that can be very lenient and, give you the benefit of the doubt and give you chances after chances. But when it keeps happening all over again, people have business to run. You know what I mean? It's like, if you can't handle it, can't do what you need to do, then maybe this job is not for you. Maybe you need to find something that's more convenient, that you can just leave and then not come back. But at the end of the day, other people is going to be affected by this. So my point is, I just don't feel like she was very smart about it. It's just very dumb on her part. Me, I would have just signed the damn paper, and then in the back of my mind, I'm looking for another job. I'm going to apply, go to Indeed, go to LinkedIn, go to other place, look for other job, put my resume out there, and I'm going to look for another job. And then once I found a secure job, then I give my 2 weeks notice or a week, but at least I have a job lined up. And I hope and pray that she does find something lined up and find a job very quickly. Because at the end of the day, the bills are not going anywhere. It's going to pile up, and you have a child too. But anyway, I feel like that was very dumb move on her part, by just resigning instead of signing it. But anyway, people are just within their feelings. They don't think smart. They don't think ahead. It's all about their feelings. But I wish her the best of luck and Godspeed. God bless her and her family. And I really hope that she finds something that's more suitable for her. Moving on, you guys. Now I want to talk about ICE arresting a teacher at the daycare in Chicago. And a lot of stuff is happening in Chicago, a lot. And I have to say, I'm all for ICE. I'm all for ICE arresting illegal migrants, okay, illegal immigrants. I'm all for that. You know what I mean? Especially if they're rapists, murderers, or have no business here in the United States. They should go. They have no business. If you're a rapist and a murderer and you've been doing a drug addict, doing, trafficking, young kids or adults, you have no business being here in the United States. So I'm all for ICE, deporting the illegal migrants. I'm all for it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all, especially if you're a criminal. You have no business being here. You know what I mean? Because they were here for like the last 4 years, getting free healthcare, free benefits, committing crimes after crimes, and no one does a benefit from this. You know what I mean? No one does a benefit for this. And I think that, what they're doing is the right thing. However, with that being said, people ask me, what about the migrants, not migrants, what about the illegal who are not criminals, who have not done any illegal activities or any crimes, meaning that they pay their taxes, they go to work, they pay their bills, they have a family, and they're not Americans. Should ICE arrest them? And my answer is, and I know I probably said it in the past before, they should, but my answer is no. I just feel like if they're not criminals and they've been here for like 5 or 6 years or maybe longer, maybe they're in the process of getting their papers, maybe they're in the process of being a citizen, but if they've been here for the longest to have a better life, to come to the United States, even though they came to the United States illegally, okay, but they came to the United States to have a better life, to have a better future for their for themselves and for their children, to get away from what they were running for because of the whole drug situation, the whole killing and murder. I understand why they came here, but they didn't commit any crimes. They didn't commit any activities. They didn't do anything illegal except for coming here illegal, but they paid their taxes. They kept low. They mind their business. They did what a normal person would do. And I don't think it's fair that they should for ICE to just deportation them. You know what I mean? To deport them, excuse me. Especially if they're in the process of getting their papers. I think for me, that's just wrong. But in the government world, that's illegal because they came here illegally. So they should go back to their country and do the proper channels and then come back to the States. But if the paperwork is already in process already, why ship them back to their country? You know what I mean? Why ship them back if the paperwork is in process and then they're going to get their citizenship? Why ship them back? So I really don't like to. Oh, my thing's about to go low. Let me charge this. I don't want my computer to die on you while I go live. And I should have done this, but I thought I had enough battery because as they say, my battery is low. So charge it up, or we're going to shut you down. And I don't want to be shut down while I'm talking to you guys. So just give me one moment. I plug this in, which I should have done. But anyway, the show must go on. Okay, now it's plugged in. Now we're good. Let's continue on. So like I was saying, I'm all for ICE doing their jobs, but I know they've been getting a bad rap, and there's a lot of protesters, coming at them, spitting at them, charging at them. At the end of the day, they're doing their jobs. They're doing their jobs. They're doing what they're told to do. But lately, what I've been noticing on the videos, some of them have been very aggressive, which I don't like. I understand they have to, get the illegals out of the country, out of our country, and put them and then bring them back to their country. But I just don't like the way they're doing it. I don't like the forcefulness. I don't like their tactics. I feel like there's a better way to do it instead of being like so aggressive like that. You know what I mean? And I just don't like that. I don't like the fact that they go to the schools or daycare. There's other children that's around, and then that can really affect them. You know what I mean? And traumatize. You see this bunch of, men with masks over their face and, a badge and a gun. And, it can be very terrifying for kids. And I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think this should be near a daycare or a school. That should be off limits. There should be a better way and a better system to detain these illegal immigrants in a better way instead of being aggressive. I just don't like the aggressiveness. You know what I mean? Especially if they're not resisting. If they're not resisting, there's no point of being aggressive. Now, if they're being a little resistant, then there's other ways to, to cool down the temperature, especially if it's a woman. You know what I mean? Especially if it's a woman that has a child next to her. I think there's a better way to handle this. And what I saw at the daycare in Chicago, I really didn't like that, to be honest with you. People were scared, frantic. People spoke about it. And I'm going to show you a video of that. I just don't like it. I just don't like certain videos that I've been seeing, which I'm going to share with you guys. The aggressiveness, of ICE agents doing what they're doing to detain the illegal migrants. It just, I don't like it. I respect what they're doing and they have a job to do, but like I said, there's other ways to deal with certain circumstances. But let you share this video with you of the teacher being arrested at Chicago. And I have to say, they're cleaning Chicago up. You see ICE agents everywhere, left and right, and going to this place, going to that place, arresting these people, that people. They're going super hard, but the protesters are going super hard as well. It's just crazy, but take a look.
This video captured the moment ICE agents dragged a pre-K teacher out of a daycare center on Chicago's north side. She can be seen pleading with the agents as she's pushed up against a waiting sedan. At one point, she shouts in Spanish, "I have papers."
ICE agents followed a teacher into the facility without a warrant and abducted her in front of her students. This woman is a trusted, loved member of her community with a work permit.
Officials identified the woman as Diane Galeano, a Colombian national in the country since 2023 and seeking asylum. Children, teachers, and parents inside at the time of the arrest said they were traumatized by what they saw.
What has happened today is domestic terrorism, and it is absurd and horrific that they have now targeted our daycare centers.
Until recently, sensitive areas like schools and hospitals were generally off limits to immigration enforcement. That changed under the second Trump administration. Today's incident, the latest in a string of controversial arrests that have been happening across Chicago as part of the Trump administration's immigration crackdown.
In a statement to CBS News, the Department of Homeland Security denied targeting the daycare center and said Galeano sped away from ICE agents in a car and then fled on foot into the daycare.
Okay, so you get the logistics of that. Whether the reporter is saying it's true that this young teacher got away before in the past, and now they caught up with her, and they found her at the daycare. I just feel like there's a better way to do that. Like, why go to the daycare where there's children there to witness that? I don't know if they had a search warrant. They probably should have. But I don't know. It's just weird to me. I think ICE agents could have handled that very differently, in my opinion. But it's just sad overall. But again, they have a job to do. I don't agree how they went about doing that, because they could have easily, did it differently. Wait until she got off of work, follow her until she got home, and then detain her, opposed to going to her job. Now, I believe, please let me know, you guys, that that they're not supposed to, that ICE agents not supposed to go to daycare or schools. That's like off limits here. But I could be wrong, but I was told that's off limits, so I don't know why they would do that. And it's just crazy to me. But the next video that I'm going to share with you guys is that ICE was sent to detain a father, but then he started having seizures. It says this father appeared to have a seizure after a U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement ICE agent grabbed him by the neck while he sat in his car, and this was in Massachusetts on November 6th. He was holding his toddler during the incident. Agents reportedly handcuffed him before placing him in the ambulance with his child. Now, there's a child involved, which I'm going to show you the video. And to me, that's very frightening and scary. Like, if I was an ICE agent, what do you try to, like, escalate the situation and try to focus on getting the child first? And then when you see a man that's having the seizure, I just feel like in this video, it was just crazy and all over the place, because there's a lot of people filming and recording all this. But my thing is, you see the mother grabbing the kid, and you see the father grabbing the kid while he was having a seizure. And I'm like, the mother's main focus should have been remove your child from that situation, because you have ICE agents on one side and you have another ICE agent on the other side. So the child could have been injured or worse. And I don't know. I hope and pray the child is okay. But this whole situation is just crazy to me. And take a look what happened.
In the car, leave me alone. Look what they're doing. Stop. Documents. I got five. Back up. This is my right.
So as you can see, you see the mother holding her child, and then the ICE agent is trying to grab the gentleman, the father, who's having a seizure. And it's just crazy. It's just like all over the place. You know what I mean? And this is very dangerous. You know what I mean? Someone could have easily got hurt or even worse. And especially this father who's having a seizure is like, what are you doing? Like, they're dragging him, and it's like, are they seeking him medical attention or what? I don't understand.
She's having a seizure. They're trying to rip the baby out of her hands. He's having a seizure. Fitchburg, Massachusetts. This is what's going on this morning. Stop yelling at her. Stop yelling.
It's just crazy to me. Like, the whole aggressiveness, the screaming, the yelling, it's just nuts. And there's more, you guys, which I'm just utterly shocked. Like, this behavior that how ICE agents are doing this. I feel like they could have handled certain things differently, better, in my eye, opposed to all this. It's just crazy to me. The next one, a mass ICE agent took a toddler. And I'm like, where's the mother? Like, if you're going to detain the father, arrest him, why would you take the toddler with you? Shouldn't the mother be with the toddler? The toddler don't know who you are. The toddler's probably scared and frightened. And the toddler probably witnessed you taking his father, which he's a criminal, by the way. You know what I mean? Because he has no business being in the United States. If you are a criminal and you come here illegally, you have to go back. There's no place for you here in the United States if you're a criminal. That I support. If you're a criminal and you come in here illegally, you should go back to your country. You should not be here in the United States. Now, again, like I said, with that being said, if you've been here for a long time and you have not committed any crimes and you pay your taxes, you do the right thing. In my opinion, I think people should stay. I don't think they should be deported. That's just my opinion. But again, that's just not my rules or my law. It's the government law. Whether you pay your taxes, whether you do the right thing, whether you've been here for 10 years, 15 years, over a decade, if you came here legally, in their eyes, that you should go back into your country. It doesn't matter if you're a good person or not. It doesn't matter if you pay taxes. It doesn't matter if all the good work that you have done, it doesn't matter to them. But for me, I feel differently. I feel like if you have been doing the right thing and laying low and doing what you're supposed to do, then you should stay and get your papers, obviously, but that's not how the government works, unfortunately. So this next one is very troubling, and I just don't like that. I'm like, I feel uncomfortable with this. I feel uncomfortable that ICE agents is taking a toddler and the mother is not there. And the mother was there in this instance, but to me, this makes me feel uncomfortable. It doesn't sit well with me at all. So take a look what happened.
When you ran them with the baby in the back, bro.
There's a baby in the back.
Yeah, bro. And the guy was doing absolutely nothing, bro. He was doing nothing, bro. He got the toddler in the back.
And they're trying to take him out of the baby. They just want to take him.
Hey, ask him if he wants us to call his family to come get the baby.
Am I a threat to you? Am I hurting? Am I doing anything to you? Am I hurting you? Am I hurting you? Am I stopping?
Man, you guys are full of shit. You know that?
And they about to drive.
They about to idiot, dude. This is new. Look at this.
Child, bro, that's a child.
Put this around. Why are you not having your mother?
Hey, he didn't give you consent to drive the car, bro.
Without telling me where you're taking my child.
That's wild. Hey, you guys are some real pieces of shit. You know that?
What are you doing?
Dude, real piece.
So where are they going to drive him to? They're taking his baby. They're taking
Look
his
at that,
baby.
getting in a car with a gun, with a
They
baby.
have the baby in the car seat in the car.
Look at that, going in.
And they're in there with guns.
Wow. Hey, that's real patriotic. Pieces of. That's real patriotic.
And they're hiding their faces.
Look at that, in the car with guns with the baby. Look at this scumbag right there. Look at that. Look at that with a baby in the back. Look at that. Look. Look at this. Look at this scumbag right there.
I don't know, you guys. If that was me and someone took my child, I would be freaking the F out. I will be livid. I'm like, how can you take my baby and I'm not there? Two grown men, okay, and a toddler is in the backseat of the car. That's one thing to arrest the father because he was here illegally. That's another just to leave the mother behind and you take the toddler. Where you taking the toddler? Where are you moving her? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. Like I would like to know the rules and regulations, how that works, because to me that doesn't seem like okay. It doesn't. It just makes ICE agents look bad. And this is why you have crazy unhinged protesters protesting the way that they are, because they see stuff like this. They see stuff like this, and it goes viral, and people are talking about it, and people are saying that this is unacceptable, just the way they handle things. And I agree. Like I said, they have a job to do, but I just don't like the way how they're going about doing it. You know what I mean? It's just unacceptable to me. The next clip I'm going to show you is a ICE protester escalated, and this video shows a woman throw on the ground for blocking a vehicle. Now, this protester, this woman, she's dumb. Okay, why would you do that? Why would you just stand in the middle of the road or street? What is it? Street or whatever, and blocking the vehicle? You think that it's not going to like come and you think that they're just not going to like try to hit you or try to have you be moved? It doesn't make any sense. Like, she literally blocked a vehicle for moving. And you just think that it is going to just say, no, lady, we just going to just park, and then we just going to let you stand in front of the vehicle, and we're just not going to take action. Of course they're going to take action. Of course they're going to do something. So they put her on the ground. You can't just block an ICE agent's vehicle thinking that they're not going to do anything about it. It's just very foolishness. Yes, protest. Everyone has the right to protest, free speech. You live in America. However, don't be dumb about it. Don't be stupid about it by blocking a vehicle and thinking that nothing's going to happen if you block the vehicle. It's just dumb on her part. And she looks very foolish and stupid, in my opinion. So in this sense, ICE agents have every right to do what they did, because this woman was just unhinged and nuts. You know what I mean? Protest all you want. But to be in front of a vehicle, a moving vehicle, and you just stand there like you think there's nothing was going to happen, makes sense. It doesn't make sense, but take a look. Oops, this is the wrong one. Sorry, guys. Let's remove that. There we go. So this woman walking, getting an ICE agent's face. Could give you that. She's brave. They pepper sprayed her. Now, what do you expect to happen? She's confronting an ICE agent. Okay, you in his face. Okay, you're violating his face. So what do you expect to happen? They're going to pepper spray you, and that's literally what happened. They pepper sprayed her. She got very upset, very hostile. No, 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 no! She got arrested, as you can see.
Catch the latest.
Oh, this is not the one. I thought this was the one that she was standing in front of what do you call it? The front of the vehicle. I guess that's the wrong clipping. My apologies, you guys. I thought it was the one. Well, I guess not. Sorry, you guys. Now, the last one I'm going to show you, which this was very, very disturbing and disrespectful and rude in my eye. You know, this poor woman was crying to one of the ICE agents because her husband was detained and arrested. And this one of the ICE agent shoved her to the ground. And the fact of the matter is, no one didn't say anything. No one didn't do anything. No one didn't tell the ICE officer, hey man, this is a woman. You put your hands on her. She didn't touch you. She didn't put her hands on you. She was just crying and pleading that you got her husband. Now, I don't know her husband's background. I don't know, but he probably did something illegal. So he has to be deported. But I understand the wife's frustration, you know what I mean? Because they took her husband. Her husband has been arrested, and now he's going to be deported in his country. So I understand the wife's frustration and her being anxious and upset and crying, rightfully so, because that's her husband. The fact of the matter is, I didn't like the fact that how the agent handled that situation. You know what I mean? He could have easily just turned his back and walked away and went back to his office. But instead, he shoved her to the ground. And you see all these reporters or whoever just videotaping all this, but they're not telling this gentleman, hey, dude, what you're doing is wrong. Absolutely wrong. Like, you can't just shove a woman down because she's crying and pleading. That's all she did. She didn't, violate you, touch you, or hit you, or spit at you, none of that stuff. So I didn't like that. I just feel like this gentleman could have handled it very differently. He could have handled it better, excuse me. And I just didn't like the fact that he put his hands on a woman. Every man should know that. Know better. Not to ever put your hands on a woman. And no one ain't have him take accountability of that, which to me is utterly disgusting. And I didn't like that at all. But take a look. See how, everyone is recording it, and no one's not saying anything to that ICE agent. Like, It's disgusting. No one's not saying anything. Everyone just has their phone out recording it. Okay, and now it's on social media and it's viral. But the fact of the matter is, no one is not saying anything. That's just so mind-boggling to me. Have a heart, dude. Have a heart. Have a So you get the gist of it. And it's just crazy to me. Like, I get it that ICE agents have a job to do, but you have to be compassionate of their significant others. Okay, I get that you're trying to get criminals off the street. I get it that you're trying to deport all these illegal criminal immigrants. I get that. I get all that. I get why you're doing it. You have a job to do. You're told to do that. However, there's other ways to handle a situation. Not going to daycares or schools and then just being aggressive and arresting people, especially if they're not resisting. If they're not resisting, then there's no need to have force. If they're resisting, that's a different story. But some of the incidents that I have been seeing in videos, I have not seen any of them being resistance at all. And it's just sad. It just sucks. But anyway, they have a job to do. And I just don't like the methods of how they're doing it. And we all get to see it. And listen, we all want to be safe. We all want to walk in our streets in the middle of the night and feel safe and feel protected, not feel like we're going to get mugged or raped or God knows what. You know what I mean? And Chicago needs to be cleaned up. There's too many crimes in Chicago. Too many crimes was happening in New York as well and among other places. Okay. And what President Trump is doing, he's cleaning up and he's taking away all the trash. Now, how the agents going about it, I don't like it. But at the end of the day, they're taking out the trash and they're trying to keep America safe again. And we may not like how ICE agents are doing it and how they're going about it, but they're taking away the trash because no illegal migrants have no business in our state, in the United States, period. None whatsoever. So that's all I'm going to say about that, you guys. Thank you so much for joining in on a Saturday live, and I will see you guys on Monday. Take care, and God bless you all.